Welcome back. Uh, we are still in Unit 9, Ventures 4. This is a Kcpc class. It is, oh, I forgot to put the date. So if we were going to be in this class in real life, we would be on the 21st. 2120. That's important for me to label my videos so that I am coordinating everything together. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to say is that this is part 1. Okay. And we left off in the workbook. So if you would please pick up your workbook and turn to page 105. It says rewrite each sentence a different way. Put the second part of the sentence first. Let's review what we just did before we left off. Everyone, I would buy a more efficient car if I had enough money. And to rewrite, it would be, if I had enough money, I would buy a more efficient car. Next, if we use less gasoline, we would reduce global warming. Actually, we would reduce global warming if we used less gasoline. So we're reversing it in this one. Number 3, you would help save trees if you bought recycled paper. So it would be, if you bought recycled paper, you would help save trees. Next, the beach would be cleaner if people picked up the trash. Reverse, if people picked up their trash, the beach would be cleaner. 5, if I wore sweaters in winter, I would reduce my heating bills. Reverse, I would reduce my heating bills if I wore sweaters in winter. Number 6, if we carpooled to work, we would save money on gas. Reverse, we would save money on gas if we carpooled to work. So that would be, if the if sentence comes first, there's a comma after it. Okay, so that finishes the workbook section of what we're going to do right now. Finished. So if you would please take out your student book and turn to page 114. The lesson is on connectors. Everyone, grammar focus, sense and so. Connectors are words at the beginning of a sentence or a clause. Use the connector since to introduce a cause or a reason clause. Use the connector so to introduce an effect or a result clause. Let's read the examples they've given us. A connector of cause. Everyone, since the Earth is getting warmer, the polar ice caps are melting. The next, the polar ice caps are melting since the Earth is getting warmer. So that's not the only connector that we can use. We'll find that out on the next page. But you could also say the polar ice caps are melting because the Earth is getting warmer. Next, connector of effect. The Earth is getting warmer, so the polar ice caps are melting. Notice there is a comma after the first clause. Next, the Earth is getting warmer, so the seawater is getting warmer. Notice the comma after the first part of the sentence. Okay, so what I would like you to do is put down your books, and I want you to listen to the CD. Listen carefully for the connecting words. Listen carefully for the times that they might link pronunciation. And this is to see how much you understand during a listening lesson. Okay, here we go.
Page 114, Exercise 2A.
Not to be reading.
1. Since there is a buildup of harmful gases in the atmosphere, global warming is increasing. 2. Warm water is expanding in the oceans, so the sea level is rising. 3. Since the sea level is rising, towns near oceans are in danger of flooding. 4. Since global warming changes weather patterns, many places will have less rainfall. 5. The mosquito population will increase, so there will be an increase in diseases like malaria. 6. Since the ocean water is getting warmer, typhoons and hurricanes are becoming more frequent. 7. Cities are growing, so many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats. 8. Summer temperatures will continue to rise, so there will be longer periods of no rain and increased days of very high temperatures.
Okay, so just think about how many people understood 100%. 80%? 50%. So now we're going to read, and hopefully you're going to find the sections that you did not understand while you were listening. Okay, so this is also going to be a little complicated, a little long lesson, so we're going to focus really well here. Everyone, there is a buildup of harmful gases in the atmosphere. Global warming is increasing. Changing the sentence using a connector. Since there is a buildup of harmful gases in the atmosphere, global warming is increasing. We've got the idea. Next, warm water is expanding in the oceans. The sea level is rising. Warm water is expanding in the oceans, comma, so the sea level is rising. Notice the comma. Notice the spelling of expanding, and the pronunciation is like K, X, expanding. Everyone? Okay, great. Number 3, the sea level is rising. Towns near oceans are in danger of flooding. They want you to use the connector since. Everyone? Since the sea level is rising, comma, towns near the ocean are in danger of flooding. Four, global warming changes weather patterns. Many places will have less rainfall. They want you to use the connector since. Everyone? Since global warming changes weather patterns, comma, many places will have less rainfall. 5, the mosquito population will increase. There will be an increase in diseases like malaria. They want you to use the connector so. Everyone? The mosquito population will increase, comma, so there will be an increase in diseases like malaria. Diseases. Let's pronounce that again, please. Diseases. And malaria. What is it? Good. 6, the ocean water is getting warmer. Typhoons and hurricanes are becoming more frequent. So this may have been a place when you were listening that you might not have caught the word typhoon. What is it? That's right, typhoon. And the next word is hurricanes. What is the pronunciation? Hurricanes. Everyone, let's do the sentence with the connector since. The ocean water is getting warmer since typhoons and hurricanes are becoming more frequent. 7. Cities are growing. Many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats. What is this word? Habitat. What is a habitat? I hope you said it's the place where you live. Okay. Let's connect it. They want us to connect it using the word so. Everyone, cities are growing, comma, so many plants and animals may lose their natural habitats. 8. Summer temperatures will continue to rise. There will be longer periods of no rain and increased days of very high temperatures. They want us to use the connector so. Everyone, summer temperatures will continue to rise, comma, so there will be longer periods of no rain and increased days of very high temperatures. So increased days may have been another part of the listening exercise that you may not have gotten because those two words really link together while you're pronouncing them. Increased days, very similar in the ending and the beginning. Okay. Let's move to page 115. And go to the little blue box in the upper right-hand corner. Everyone, useful language because can replace since. Therefore can replace so. Use a semicolon before therefore and a comma after it. So there is going to be a couple of sentences where we're using therefore. The earth is getting warmer. Therefore, the polar ice caps are melting. So here they give you an example of how to do that. The first clause, the earth is getting warmer, semicolon, therefore, comma, the polar ice caps are melting. Okay. Talk with a partner, combine sentences in different ways using the connector since, because, therefore, and so. Cause and effect. Let's read the first cause. People are building homes in forests. Effect, animals are losing their natural habitats. The example they give, since people are building homes in forests, comma, animals are losing their natural habitats. Now, reversing that sentence, it's going to be animals are losing their natural habitats because people are building homes in forests. So when you're using because, no punctuation, there's no comma. But if you put since in the first part of the sentence, then you are going to need a comma. Number 2, there is a habitat loss. That's the cause. The effect, animals are moving into towns and cities. So let's start with because. Because animals are moving into, because there is a habitat loss, comma, animals are moving into towns and cities. Number 3, Animals are moving into towns and cities. The animals are frightened. How are you going to connect those? Because the animals are frightened, animals are moving into towns and cities. They're losing their natural habitats. Number 4, the animals are frightened. Sometimes they attack people. Connector, because. Because the animals are frightened, sometimes they attack people. Or, actually, you'd have to change everything around if you're going to change that one that way. Okay, number 5, wild animals sometimes attack people. People are afraid of them. Because wild animals sometimes attack people, comma, people are afraid of them. So using because is really very easy, and it is actually the most common connector. Pay attention to number 6. People are afraid of wild animals. They kill the animals. What will the connector here be? Therefore. So we're going to use a semicolon and a comma. So it's going to be, people are afraid of wild animals, semicolon, therefore, comma, they kill the animals. Okay. So the next part of this page says communicate, work in a small group, read the newspaper headlines, discuss the possible causes and effects of each event, think of other possible headlines to discuss. So I really had a lot of fun looking up the whale paper article. It says whale washes up on shore. So I went to Siri and I said, why do whales wash up on shore? And there was a very interesting article there with lots of vocabulary. And I'm going to go over that with you now. And for homework, what I would like you to do is to do the same with polar bears and where have all the fish gone? Or another coyote moves into town. It doesn't really matter which one. And you can send those to me at cmwicher@bellsouth.net. Okay, here's the vocabulary for the whales. Strand themselves. So whales strand themselves. So think of it as being stranded somewhere. You don't have any way to get home. So this is another way to use the verb strand when you're referring to whales that wash up on the beach. They are stranded, and some scientists believe that they're actually stranding themselves and that it's not accidental. The next vocabulary word here is beach. Whales beach themselves. They go up onto the beach and they just sit there and stay there. So we use the word beach to describe that particular action. The whale that does this most often is the pilot whale. One of the reasons that they think this might be happening is because of underwater sonar, and they believe that the mid-frequency sonar waves in submarines may be interfering with the whale's ability to find a place to go, that they're not bothered by these high-frequency waves. The other causes that they feel might be contributing are illness, infections, parasites, old age, fishing gear entanglement, or lack of nutrients, or it may be accidental. Okay, see you in the next section.